The annotated bibliography is a very important part of all research that you do in college, especially in your discipline. And it's a useful tool because it gathers the sources you believe that you will probably use in a format that will also work for your works cited or your references listed at the end of a paper. Because according to your disciplinary research memo, you know which format your particular discipline uses. So you're putting together in advance a list of the sources you will probably use in your paper in the proper format that they're going to show up in the last incarnation of the entire bibliography. Now, at least some of these have to be done for the individual conferences that begin on March 9th. But basically, your audience for this is it's directed at scholarly peers, and you may assume that they have only a casual familiarity with this topic or issue. So you have to do a little bit of explanation, but nevertheless, it's going to be professional level because that's what we're working towards in this particular class. It's going to consist, it says, of the sources that you've deemed relevant to your topic and or question of inquiry. 1, cite the source in the proper format. That's the first thing. That means it's be alphabetized by the last name of the author, and it'll have the hanging indent, which all of the citations utilize. But if you use APA, MLA, or Chicago, the stuff that's in there may vary in order or in form. On each of the entries for this bibliography, you include the brief summary. It says brief annotation that summarizes the source. Let's talk about 3 or 4 sentences. And it should not include any quotations from the source, and it has to be written in your own words. So in other words, even though you'll get an abstract that's written by the author when you find your source, don't copy and paste that. That's called, what's that called? Oh yeah, plagiarism. Don't want to do that. And after you've written your 3 or 4 sentences that summarize the source, then you write 3 or 4 sentences about talking about why it's a useful source. How does it compare with other sources in the bibliography? Is the information reliable? What is the goal of this source? How do you think it might function in your paper? That's all the sort of things that you would like to discuss in that 3 or 4 sentence second paragraph of your annotation. Now, this is a fairly rigid genre because your citations have to adhere to the specific citation format. And you will have at least 8 sources of various types, the majority of which should be scholarly and all of which should be credible. They would include thoughtful and complete annotations, 2 paragraphs, 3 to 4 sentences each, rather. And by the way, please include correct grammar, punctuation, and spelling. This is, after all, an English class. And by the way, if you're going to be writing professional level stuff, don't write it on your phone so that you forget to capitalize things or you leave out words or whatever. Take your time to do a good job on this. The 2 main concerns that determines your success in the assignment, it says, is the quality of the sources and the correctness of the citations, according to your discipline. Both must be appropriate and excellent for credit because this is graded pass, fail. So I would say you should have some of these at least ready with both the citation and the annotations, so we can talk about those at your conference too. You don't have to have the whole thing done, but you definitely need to have at least some of them done so that we can talk about them.